In this session, we're going to have a look at how to manage the Holy Mackerel Software database to do with groups. Now, the way that we do that is click on the window menu and choose Database. Sometimes it takes a little while to come up, and you'll see across the top all the list of things you can manage. Make sure you click on the tab for Group. Now, by default, most people only have one group that they are a member of, but it's possible to create multiple groups on the system. The way to have a look at your group is click on the Show All button, and depending on how many groups you have access to, it should show you down the bottom here. Okay, I've got access to one of one, so I've only got one group that this user is a member of. When you have your account created by default, you have your own group, your own personal group, and there's one manager for that group. In this case, there's one group and the person's the manager. It's possible to for somebody to be a manager of multiple people who are members of a group. It's possible to not be a group manager of any group. The advantage of being a group manager is that you get access to additional functions, like, for example, being able to delete clients from CRM Haven, to be able to change group details, all that sort of stuff. Okay, so here we are. You can see a number of tabs across here related to the group. The first of all being the details here. You can go in and change your group name anytime you want. It doesn't affect anything at all. You can see the group ID, but you can't actually go and change the group ID. It's automatically set behind the scenes. So if you want to change the group, go and rename the group here. Now you can see who are group managers of this group. At the moment only one person is. There's only one person in this group anyway, but say there were more people that I had access to. If I click on the little magnifying glass here, I'd have a list of all the different people who I have access to, and I could potentially move them in from one side to the other to make them managers of this group. If you want to take somebody away, you can click on them and take away access. Now I don't want to in this circumstance, because otherwise that would leave me with nobody managing this group. Okay, I'll cancel that, but that's how you go and make more people managers of particular groups. If you also had a lot of people you have access to, then they would appear down the side here in the same way that just like you add people to be managers group, you can actually add people into a group as well. So as you create new groups, you can add people in and take people out of groups as you need. Now, none of the changes are actually stored until you actually hit the update button. So if you close the window down without actually clicking the update button, you would lose all of the changes. Now we only have one group here, but it's possible that you might have more. You could even click on the Find button and either put in the range of addresses for the groups you might be looking for, or put some text in which will go and look in the different text fields and hopefully find the group for you, just in case if you didn't know what the number was. You can also create new groups as well. If you click on New, it'll create a new blank group with yourself as a member, and you can create other people in groups as you want. I would suggest you don't create too many groups, because otherwise it can get a little hard to manage. Now that's the general membership of a group. You also have down here information to do with what access you get in the group. So say, for example, if you use CRM Haven, then what you can do with the groups is you can have personalized regions, categories, types, relationships, etc. for the members of that group. So if you have a client who's in this group, you put the regions in there, you put the categories in there. Those are what will appear in the pickup lists for clients who are members of that group. Now, one of the things you may want to do is click on the Samples button here. If you click on Samples, then it puts in an amount of sample data into those areas, just so you can get an idea of what possible things you might want to put in there. Now, you can go and change those anytime you want, but I'd suggest you sort of keep those samples and add to them or remove bits as you need. Also, in descriptions, it's possible to change the descriptions for all these main areas. Now, by default, they have a certain value based on the whole database has certain values for these, which are the same as the elements themselves. But if for a particular reason you wanted to change, for example, user to a class member or a group to a department or something like that, you could change the word in here, and this would overwrite the default value that came in from the database overall. Review status again has a number of different samples you can click in and get rid of the ones that you don't want. The advantage there is that it saves yourself a huge amount of work if one of these items meets the particular needs as to where that project might be up to. Notes is just a general text field for you to describe what the group might be about. Okay, so that is a description of the managing the group database on Holy Mackerel Software, which changes the values across all of the different cloud modules. Okay, thank you and goodbye.